without this fantastic advisory board, I always keep saying that we will never be here where we are today. So that is incredible. So I am the one who definitely thanks you three guys. So I just want to, more or less the last thing for me, hopefully, that I just want to give a little bit of information of the event, which is the purpose of our event is to spark interactive dialogues, generate fresh knowledge, share ESG and alignment content, and grow our community. And again, but today's gatherings carries an extra dimension today. It will mark the soft launch of something we've been working on for a long, long time, where Rune have been involved also. This is our own cross-industry global network. What is open innovation really about? And what is the strength and the challenge in practice? This will be Rune, Tracy, and Harris, who will take us on that journey, who is based on their own specific experience of innovation. And I think we should start with you, Rune. Will you open up the party?
Yes, I can. I had to start to ask AI just to make sure that I was in the right ballpark. But we had kind of the same same idea of what open innovation was. So that was a good start.
Yeah.
To me, open innovation is when people co-develop solutions, offers, or products by sharing information they normally would not do. By that I mean, I come from two traditional industries. Paper industry, but also marine, very traditional. Especially if you work with a large company. We are very used to doing all the developments in-house. We don't want to share before we know that it's right. We don't want to open up and talk about things we work with until we know it's working, because we're so worried that things will fail or somebody will steal our ideas. So by coming from those backgrounds, that was ingrained in me not to share information on what I was working on. But then I was lucky. I had a manager called Nakul Malhotra that challenged Williamson in the way we were doing project developments and solution developments. And also, since I was reporting to him, he was encouraging me or forcing me to look at different ways of doing project developments because everything took too long. So I was pushed into open innovation and venturing with a great sense of humbleness, because it is risky to share information if you don't have the things, the contracts in place, the agreements in place, and the trust in place. So to be able to do proper open innovation, I believe you need to look at trust and work with trust. That can be done through contracts, NDAs, to have the paperwork in place before you start, because then you have the opportunity to be fully transparent and open. We also see that with open innovation, you get so much more ideas and so much better solutions. Because coming from a marine background, working with marine companies, we see a lot of things the same or similar way. When talking to companies or people from other backgrounds, might be other industries or have experiences from other industries now coming into the marine, they bring with them a different set of eyes, meaning they look at the problems in a different way, so you can challenge your solution before you go to market and have a more robust solution. But also by using multiple different partners to do co-development, you also normally have different capabilities from the different parties. Therefore, we can work with our strengths and not our weaknesses all the time, and learn from others from their strengths. So you learn a lot more by working and opening up and sharing as well. So that's, to me, the crux of open innovation, is the trust and the sharing, the increased speed to market, because you have the experts or closer to experts on the different roles in the project. And you also learn a lot more. So that's easier to go into the next project because you're growing your knowledge base as well. So there's a lot of pros that I can see from open innovation. Normally, the time to market is faster. Your partners normally have capabilities in areas you don't. So therefore, the robustness of the offer is better. You can reduce risk quite a lot because you have more people to look at the challenges, the contracts, whatever it may be. And also not only the contracts that you're going into with customers, but also with regulators and the other side of it as well. A lot of what we do will be regulated in one way, shape, or form. If it's health and safety, if it's environmentally, whatever it may be, you have more eyes looking at it. So you de-risk by having more people looking at it as well, with different backgrounds. And that's just some of the pros I see from open innovation. There are, of course, some cons. It is very important to have the NDAs in place from the early stage. Otherwise, you will not build the trust in the right way. Initial agreements within the partners also needs to be set up in a clever way, because the partners you start with might not be the ones you end up with. There might be changes in the grouping as you progress, or the product might change, because if you're using a little bit of venture mentality, you might pivot as well. And therefore, there might, for that reason, be a change in partnerships as well going forward. So it's very important to have it quite early, I feel, the IPs in place and all of these things. And that is a struggle, because it takes time to have the legal work in place. But to do all of these things the right way from the beginning increases the trust and also reduces the headaches down the line.
Yeah.
When you do see, especially between big companies and startup companies or smaller companies, the sense of urgency might be very different, which might cause a lot of frustration. If a development takes a year for a large company, it might be quick. If it takes a year for a startup, it's a drag. So the sense of urgency are things that needs to be, to some degree, agreed upfront, so we have the same expectations going in. And larger traditional companies like Wilhelmsen, we're not used to sharing information in a product development. So the legal department really early wants to get involved, try to put some kind of blockers. But we managed to fight through. But a lot of the time for a participant in an open innovation project from a large company will be spent internally to de-risk it internally. Something to just bear in mind. And of course, and we have seen that in my experience multiple times, legal issues take time and is costly. But if it's done right from the beginning, you save a lot of problems down the line. So for me, I'm very, very open for open innovation. I'm and I believe that's the right way to go. I don't think I am the smartest person in the world. If I have a 1 in a million or 1 in a billion idea,